Folks, I want to introduce our guest speaker. He was a system engineer, wanted to be a stay-home dad when he decided to have a child, and that happened. And he saw ACN as a way out to change his life. He's no stranger to most of us, but we're excited to have him on the call today. Without further ado, from San Diego, California, can we give a warm welcome to Regional Director, Mr. Julian Lewis.
Good morning, Mr. Thomas. But before I get started, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas has been there for me through thick and thin for over a decade. Just as a leader, as a man, as the person who he is as a father, the way he shows up as a human being is authentic. And the reason why he's successful isn't just because he's building business. The reason why he's successful is because he understands people and he loves to help people become greater than what they think they are. And so, Mr. Thomas, I appreciate you seeing something in me so many years ago, and that you've continued to stay connected throughout my journey within the business and in life. And ladies and gentlemen, before I get started, I just want to give you a brief background of who I am so we're not complete strangers. Again, my name is Julian, and prior to getting involved with this project, I was a senior systems engineer. I was working 80 to 90 hours a week at my job. I was averaging roughly 50 to 60 flights a year, which put me in a situation where I really didn't have a lot of time for myself and my family. But good fortune came my way. I was introduced to this company by my first mentor in the industry, who shared with me a system. And that system allowed someone as busy as I was, that was traveling, that was working all those hours, to be able to do a little bit consistently over a period of time. And in a short period of time, that compounded success allowed me to walk away from my job and enabled me to come home to my family. But most importantly, I was able to be the type of father that I felt my daughter deserved. At that time, she was 6 months old. Today, she's 17 years old. I've been able to be home the entire time, and I owe it all to the training, the support system that I have here with this company. And today, I really wanted to break down something with the business that most people feel they understand, but they really don't, in my opinion. If they did, you would see a different result in their businesses. So today we're going to be talking about what are you focusing on? Okay, so do me a favor, if you can put in the chat. I think I can see it. If you put it in the chat, do me a favor, and let me ask you, what is your goal? What position is your goal in ACN? Like, depending upon where you are right now, what is your goal right now in ACN? Position-wise, if you could put that in the chat, I want to see if I can see that. So do me a favor, if you got really fast Twitter fingers, go ahead and type that into the chat as quickly as you can, so I can see some of those that you post. Okay. Dale Ranson said right now, RD. I like that. I appreciate that. Paul Maldonado, RC. Winston, RD. Catherine Williams, RD. Okay, I appreciate that. Juan Carlos Abrica, RD. Luis and Pea, RD. I see that for you. I appreciate all of you for putting that in the chat. And wherever your focus is, my question to you is, how are you thinking about getting there? So if someone were to ask you, what do you need to do? So I saw the majority of you put regional director. So what do you need to do? Antonio, I love it, senior vice president. What do you need to do to get to regional director? Can anyone put that in the chat? I just want to know, what do you need to do to get to regional director? Like, how do you get to regional director? You got to type fast. BK Walker, I see you got to type fast. You got to type fast. Anybody else? 600 points, more customers, more peak, 3 names and numbers a day. Okay, help enough people get to their promotions. Who else? Who else? Anybody else? I need some more. I need some more. Focus, 20 ETLs. Okay. Anybody else? Yeah. All right, so there was only one, there was only one right answer. There was only one right answer. And that is probably why you're not there yet. That is probably why you're not there yet. It's really simple. And we focus. Remember I said what today is about? It's about focus. We focus, we don't focus on the right things. And Mr. Daryl Ranson, you probably remember me talking about this years ago. Mr. Daryl Ranson was the only one with the right answer. It's 20 ETLs. In order to get to RD, I need to help. I didn't ask what it is. A lot of you gave me the depth. Oh, so I saw 600 points. No, that's what a regional director is. I said, how do you get there? Like, what is it? What is it? How do you get to RD? Write this down if you're taking notes. You help. In order to get to RD, I need to help 20 people get to executive team leader. In order to get to RD, I need to help 20 people get to executive team leader. Now, why am I talking about help? Why didn't I talk about points? Why didn't I talk about things like that? Why didn't I talk about peaking? Because that's not the focus. Ladies and gentlemen, every single leader that you've ever heard of has said, when you help enough people get what they want, you'll have everything that you want. JFK said, ask not what the country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. It's always been that. Service to many leads to what? Greatness. So if you're focused on 600 points, what kind of a plan is that? Like, what do you, that's just a definition. So if my focus is on helping people, my focus is on helping people get to ETL. Now I got to ask, well, how do I help people get to ETL? How do I help people get to ETL? Does anyone know? Let's put it in the chat. Anybody know? Because here's what's funny. I've seen people get to RD a bunch of ways. And some of you are gonna like me or love me for this. Some of you are not gonna like me for this. And either way, I don't care because I love myself. But I'm here to give you the truth. So get them paid and promoted. But how? See, I'm so glad we're having this conversation together. How do you get people to executive team leader? I'm gonna need Daryl, you can't, you have way too many notes. You are not allowed to answer, Mr. Daryl Ranson. Come on, guys, don't be scared. Listen, if you don't have the right answer, it's okay. It's okay, because I need to see what you're thinking so that I can help you get to where you need to go. Help their exposures, okay? 40 CQ, good question. All right. Okay, so these are all good answers. I'm going to tell you why ETLs you could say that, right? You could say that, Paul, but the reason why it's not 40 CQ is because CQ doesn't do anything to helping someone have success and generate income. ETL is that. So we don't make CQ that isn't a goal. People in our team, they hit CQ on the way to executive team leader. CQ is never a goal. So the how, here's how. Someone said effectively launch, right? But I'm going to tell you what that looks like. So in our team, we have what's called a 7-day game plan. And if you've been on Saturday training, I'm surprised that you don't know this. I'm really surprised. So on Saturday training, we do a 7-day game plan. And what the game plan consists of is is a few things. First step on a 7-day game plan is to help somebody to get their first 5 services. Okay. And you might say, where does it say you need 5 services? Guess what? It doesn't. But 5 services and at least a minimum of 10 points. Catherine, what does that do for the new person? It triggers out a paycheck, right? I don't even talk about that paycheck though. I say we need to get your first 5 services because that's going to help you get closer to executive team leader. Everything that I talk about is executive team leader. Now, here's what's going to happen. On the way to executive team leader, they're going to get a little bit of fuel because they're going to see a check trigger, right? I'm telling you the psychology of a leader. So I'm going to help them. We're going to sit down. They're going to plug into a Saturday training so they understand the importance of why. They're going to know, okay, I need to become my own customer because I need to have a business mindset. I need to, and then they'll also know the other steps of getting the rest of their customers, which is, so they get a handful of services themselves, and then we schedule their first 2 meetings. Listen, guys, whether it's virtual, whether it's in person, I don't care. Schedule a meeting. Schedule a meeting. And the first meeting is going to be with all the closest people to them because this is who they're going to screw it up with and try to talk to without you. The second meeting is going to be with everybody. Can you guys say that? Everybody? Everybody? It's going to be with everybody. Who's that? The whole wide world. Anyone that knew them, that knew somebody that knew them, that knew somebody that knew that person, that kind of was affiliated with them, they're all going to be at that second meeting. So you help them get their initial services, and then you have a meeting with their closest people so that they can form an educated opinion on what it is that their friend or family member is doing. And then you schedule a grand opening so that you can expose the whole wide world. And the point of both of these meetings is twofold. One, to get more customers from people who decide they see a value in supporting their business while being a customer. Number 2, to identify people who like the idea of getting paid for what we do. And in doing so, we're going to help them close out the rest of those 5 services. In the process, they'll get to 15 points. And they'll have at least 2 business partners who you repeat the process with. That's how you get a 7-day ETL. Mr. Thomas will let you know, when I'm full speed in the trenches, every person that joins my team gets to ETL in 7 to 10 days. It's just the way it is. It's systematic. Now, here's the thing. How many ETLs? You said 20 ETLs equals RD, right? Well, then how many, if you help 1 person become ETL per week, that means you have 4 ETLs per month. How many months do you need to do that? Helping, just focusing on others, not yourself, just focusing on others. How many people do you need to have? How many months do you need to do that before you're regional director? If 4 people become ETL, if 1 person becomes ETL per week, exactly, Blake, 5. Janice, what's up with your math, girl? 6. It's 5. It's 5. So you only need 5 months, 4 ETLs per month, 5 month regional director. 5 months. No. We don't focus on. You say people purge points. I need to let you know something and everyone else. The reason why the purge is affecting you is because you're not growing your business. I've never purged backwards from regional directors, ever. It doesn't happen. It's because people purge when they're not building a healthy business. So what I'm sharing with you is, if you do it this way, you're not going to worry about a purge. You're going to hit RD with momentum because you're teaching people what to focus on. So these are all great things. And Janice, I'm not like trying to rip you apart. I'm sharing this with you so that you can understand what leaders know. And I've heard that conversation before. But Mr. Al Thomas, do you run away from the purge? No, because you're constantly growing your business, right? It doesn't happen. And when I started, there was a position called team coordinator. It's considered regional coordinator today. You needed to help 3 people become team coordinator in order to become a regional director. Okay, so when I got promoted because I had to help 3 people become team coordinator, and team coordinator was 600 points. So in order for me to promote to regional director, that would have been like the equivalent today of having to promote to 3 RDs in order to become an RD. Are you guys catching that? And what I'm trying to say is I never purged because we always focused on helping people get to ETL, and that grew them larger than just what the you know the thought the baseline was. Okay, so now I went off on a tangent, but it was important to kind of share that because I know she wasn't the only one that probably had that type of thought, and so I wanted to make sure that we were all clear on it. Now that we're focused on ETL, it's like RD in 5 months. Well, then how do you get to regional vice president? Well, all you're doing is teaching your regional coordinators how to repeat the process of what? Helping people get to ETL. So if you want to master this business, you master the 7-day game plan. That's it. You master helping enough people get what they want, and you'll have everything you want. That's really the bottom line. And when it comes to explaining this business, you have to know the difference of what a definition of a position is and how you get there. Because a lot of times people think they're training, and what they're actually doing is they're just telling people definitions of things. And so your newest people are left with, that's great, but I still don't know how to get there. You sounded really good when you spoke. You were very articulate, but I still don't know what to do next. And I still don't know why. And now that you know the why and the how, all you need to do is put your head down and go to work. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you going into a huge event in Fort Worth this weekend is because a lot of you did the work and got people registered. And you have a large group coming, and you have a small group coming. Whatever group, you might have 1 person, 2 people coming. This is the time to get energized. And then after the event on Friday, after the event on Saturday, it's time to go to work. It's time to round up those people and get them recommitted to their 7-day game plan. And they might look at you and say, I'm already an executive team. Well, if you were working out and you were doing squats for a long time, but you were doing it with bad form, how do you start doing it with good form? You start all over. And so my recommendation is, even if you're an ETL, start all over. Start with yourself. If you don't come with anybody this weekend, start with yourself. Do the 7-day game plan all over again. Become an executive team leader by focusing on the right things so that you can build something that's scalable. Because no one wants to be the only one doing it when you get to regional director. Because you know what that is? That's a high-paying job. You want to be able to have a business that's thriving, that's growing with or without you. True? And that's going to come through helping enough people get what they want. So guys, I hope we're all able to hear me. I know it's a little bit loud with everything in the background at the airport, but I just wanted to get focused, zoned in with you really quickly. And oh, real quick, one tip, make sure that every one of your team members that are at the international, the moment they touch down, rally to get registered this weekend for the next international. Don't wait. Commit. What I found is if you commit this weekend, those people that are already committed will have 3 times minimum as many people at the next event because they don't have to think about it. And do me another favor. If you see me at the event, come up to me, give me a big hug. Unless you're sick, stay back. But come up to me and give me a hug. Especially if I hadn't been able to see you in the last couple of years. I'm really excited to see all of you this weekend, and I'm looking forward to seeing each and every single one of you over the top because we know the bottom is way too crowded. Mr. Thomas, I turn it over to you.